Kane is in the building.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of the Get Lifted podcast. I'm gonna get better at these intros at some point, and not
we
sound
could
like.
change them up.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Good, but I mean,
as you could already pick up, I'm with my co-host again, Josh Topel.
How are we doing?
You just got back from San Francisco.
I did.
How was it?
It was good. I learned an interesting fact that I had no idea, which is crazy because I've been there like 10, 15 times. Their summer is actually in October and November, which for
What?
those, yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I have family that lives over there too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
well, so it's actually like,
sure.
yeah, I talked to a bunch of natives. They said that the hottest months are October, November. Currently, it's actually like 70s and maybe lower. At night, it's way lower, but it's like jacket weather.
I like that though.
So I learned that, and I also learned that there's like a rule of thumb that if it's, because it's super foggy out there in the morning, if the fog doesn't dissipate by around noon, it's a shitty day. So I was there, I got a great day every day.
So their winter is.
No, just in general. That's like a rule of thumb in general. If the fog is there past noon, it's going to be a shitty, overcast, foggy day. It'll dissipate before noon if it's.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, like it's standard that it will dissipate. It hangs out and dissipates.
Well, if they don't learn anything else in this podcast today, they learned something. Unless they're from there, they already knew that. I guess. Or maybe we're idiots for not already knowing that, but I had no idea. That makes. I mean, October here in Phoenix is when it finally starts to cool down.
Oh, it's money out here.
It's when it turns into paradise and it makes it worth living here.
That's why we live in Paradise Valley.
Exactly.
Valley of Paradise.
Real quick, if you guys are listening to this and would rather watch it, it is on my YouTube channel. Just search Brenton Ross and go to the Get Lifted playlist. Some people are visual learners. Some people like visual entertainment. Probably more so entertainment than learning a lot of times on this podcast. But today, I think what we're talking about, that I'm going to be speaking from my perspective because it's something that I've done. And I think there's going to be a lot of good conversation about it. And that is how to pursue your passion.
Yes.
Specifically in your career.
Yeah. Well, and we'll talk about. I mean, let's actually define passion.
Yeah.
First.
One word. Without thinking. You know, you're thinking. What is it? Hurry.
Desire.
Okay. He's passionate about a lot of things.
I mean, passion is passion.
Boobs.
I need.
Butts.
I need more.
Tacos.
Hold on. Wait a second.
You can't think.
Yeah.
Fulfillment.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
You thought that was
Check. Yeah, I planned the question and I thought it out before.
desire.
I went.
Shit.
Desire.
All right. Well, so while I get a chance to think
Beer.
about what it actually means,
Yeah.
why don't you define what passion means to you?
To me, and again, specifically when it comes to your career, it's you find fulfillment in what you're doing.
Yep.
You look forward to going to work every day or night, and you legitimately feel like you don't want to do anything else. There's not something else you rather. I mean, within reason. I'm passionate about what I do, but fucking A, I would much rather be a professional golfer. But you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
or like a quarterback or something, you know. But,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would define it almost the same. Like, when you're passionate about something, you can't wait to wake up to do it, and you don't want to go to bed.
You don't have
It's
those Sunday scaries.
Yeah. No Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, here's something. This is how I work, at least. I'm really passionate about something. I almost introvert myself because I want to do that instead of do things that other people are doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're that passionate, you gotta make the executive personal decision to go, this is more important than hanging out by the pool.
You know what, we're kind of skipping ahead, but I want to hit on that because you raise a really good point there. When you're passionate about what you do, it's really easy to say no to distractions.
It is.
Not, okay, that's maybe a little bit too simplified. Not really easy, it's easier.
You can justify it.
It's easier. buddies want to go out till 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, and you got to go to your job that you hate the next morning at 7, it's going to be really hard to say no.
Yeah. 100%.
Whereas if you're working on a project for yourself and you know you got to get up early because you're really making progress on it or whatever, it's pretty like, no, I'm focused on this. I'm doing this tomorrow morning. I'll catch you guys later. It's easier.
It's a legitimate excuse, and it's easier.
So without going completely through my whole story, if you want to get the whole story, go back to the first episode. Josh and I each take the time. It's a long episode, but I think it was necessary for us each to give our full story because of times like this where we can reference it and not having to tell it all, and you guys can go back. But I did exactly what we're talking about today. I left my career, even though it was a short career because I was young, that I was chasing money and not necessarily chasing my passion, and I realized that. And so I made the transition. I decided to completely stop what I was doing as far as my focus, my day-to-day. Now I still manage and have some of those investments from old companies that we were part of at the time, but as far as my day-to-day job responsibilities, my focus, completely turned that off and switched to fitness.
What was just for the people that are listening to this first, what was the job role that you were in?
We were in private equity.
Yeah.
We were in the real estate world. We were in startup tech. We were in major films. We produced a major film. We were in some debt restructure for some major institutions. We dabbled in a couple different, which is rare. Most of the time, a PE firm, they focus on one industry, and I'm not going to take any of the credit. The reason why we were able to do it was because of my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He had real experience already, other than in the movie industry and all the other industries we were in. He had done it himself already. So when we had meetings with potential clients, they were ready to sign because
they know.
He knew more than they did already most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'll humble myself and admit that. I definitely feel I pulled my weight, but when it came to that kind of stuff, I'll admit that was why. Anyways, so when I realized, though, and it's going to talk from my situation, when I realized that instead of just pursuing the money, I wanted to pursue doing something that I really felt fulfillment from, and that was going to be helping people, reaching people because of all the things that were going on in my personal life. But I also knew that I had to have some sort of tool in order to do that. And so I said, what else am I passionate about? Okay, well, I'm extremely passionate about fitness. I enjoy working out. It's like I don't dread working out. I actually legitimately look forward to it. I enjoy the results of it. I enjoy the information, the knowledge that I get. I enjoy, teaching other people about it. I enjoy the doors that it opens up for me. And I knew, okay, this is going to be my platform to then also use my business background as a platform by doing things like this, like podcasts and things like that, and building my social, my branding up. And then I can reach people. And that's finally started as of, probably 6 or 8 months ago when I started to get traction. And that's where we're at today. And that's an extremely simplified version of, A to B. And I think that's really what people want to know about is that middle part, that gray area. What did you do to get from A to B? And I think that first and foremost, it needs to be addressed that it's very, very situational, very based on your current situation as, your home, your financial situation, your family, all those kinds of things. To talk, more specifically, so for me, I wasn't married yet, I didn't have any kids, I didn't have
responsibilities.
Right. I didn't have any debt. I had some savings. I had passive investments that were making money that I knew at some point would continue to kick off money, at different times. So I had kind of like a little bit of a safety net. So I was able to make the cold hard switch, like right there. I was like, I'm done doing this and I'm doing this now. I'm not going to the office wearing a suit. I'm going to the gym wearing a fucking tank top, But that's not in the cards for everyone. So let's do this. Let's play, let's do it. It sounds funny saying it, but let's do a little bit of role play here, Josh, where we'll talk about.
Schoolgirl?
We got plenty of this stuff, and all of our women's inventory just came in. You can go try some stuff on.
I'm joking.
Might leave a few of those chests.
I saw you wearing the tank top.
You could
on
probably
as a
you
dress.
could probably see it from there on that YouTube video. You can see the hair coming out the top of that shirt. Yeah, there it is. This guy wears a sweater underneath the shirt every
got
day.
a built-in fleece.
Yeah, because it's not hot out. Let's talk about different situations. So, like hypothetically, let's say, okay, I'm married. I'm 35 years old. I have 3 kids. You know, obviously, I'm taking care of my kids. My wife hasn't been working, or whatever. My husband hasn't been working. I've had the same career for the last 10, 15 years, and I'm realizing I'm not passionate about it, but I'm too scared to just quit because I have all these responsibilities, this infrastructure around me, these people relying on me. What do I do? Okay, and I feel like that's a very common situation. And the answer to that is it's going to look a lot differently for that person than it did for me. Because I didn't have all of those outside extremities that were relying on me or that I had to make sure were taken care of first before I was, changing careers. So the answer, go ahead.
Well, no, all right. So let me weigh in my point here, and let me give.
I was going to give an answer, but go ahead.
Go for it. Go.
I was just going to say, I mean, you can't in that situation, in my opinion, unless you have a ton of savings or have money on the side somehow, just quit and transition. Because more than likely, it's going to take a lot of times years before your passion, or whatever switch you made, is going to start paying off enough where you can live and support yourself on it. So the tough answer is you have to do both. And if you're truly, truly passionate about it, that shouldn't bother you. So if that means you wake up at 7 a.m., you get ready, you help take care of the kids, whatever, get them out of school, you go to work, you're there 9 to 5, and then you come home and you eat dinner, and instead from 7 till 11 watching TV or whatever you're choosing to do with your time, then that time needs to be allocated. Fuck that, it's probably going to be 7 to 1, 7 to midnight, working on your passion and doing that day after day after day. And then on the weekends, I think it's very important to balance time with your family, because that's, from someone who's lost family members, that's extremely important that we take for granted. So you do still need to make time for that, but knock out 8 hours worth on a Saturday of working on your passion, knock out 4 hours on Sunday, and then go back to work Monday morning, go to your 9 to 5, continue to support your family, and just keep doing that cycle. Like, put your head down, get in the dirt, do the work, and do it for as long as you have to do it until your passion starts to kick off revenue, and that revenue starts to be, decently supplemental to your other income. Now build up a little bit of savings, and then when you get to the point where, okay, now this revenue is enough that it actually is as much, or it's enough with the savings we have too, that I can quit this other job and I'm not putting my family at risk. I mean, there's risk in everything, but it's still a more calculated, safe risk by doing it that way. And I think that that's the way that it has to be done if you're in a situation like that.
Yeah. All right. So my point of view is, in my background, is that I came out of college and I went into the corporate world. My point of view on that is that there are many factors, obviously, that go into determining. There's the type of people that they bounce around, like you said earlier. They bounce around and they don't know what their passion is. There are the other people. There are other people that bounce around because they have a passion, but they haven't made the jump, and so they're really just trying to support themselves in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of factors that go into play when you decide to pursue your passion. The first factor is validating if this is your actual passion or if this is something that you're just obsessing over.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Because
how do you check it though, in your opinion?
Well, I think validating it by just seeing it out, right? Like, if it's something that you recently just picked up or just decided that is a passion, see it out.
So that would be a
treat it as a hobby.
Treat it almost like similarly to the scenario I just gave. Don't quit your job.
Yes.
Do it at night. Do it on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Do it for an extended period of time. It's almost like you're planning on. I always tell people this because I have tattoos. If you're planning on getting a tattoo, don't be like, oh, and I mean, some people just don't care, that's fine. But for the most part, a smart way to do it is I decide I want a tattoo, I'm going to wait 4 or 5 months, 6 months, maybe even longer. And then if I still want that same tattoo, I'm going to go get it. So I know I really want it and it wasn't just something I liked at the time and thought would be cool and end up regretting it. Same deal. Give it time. Put in the work. Put in the research. Become knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
And don't and see what how you,
Innovate yourself.
yeah, see how you feel about it
Yeah.
6 months down the road. Fuck that. See how you feel about it 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
Because when you make that jump, oh my god. Like,
Well, there's things though that may not even be like there could be a switch in your career where you want to pursue something that you become passionate about, but you weren't at first.
yes.
Um,
And I would say that comes through finding fulfillment in whatever you're doing.
yeah,
You weren't at first you really weren't getting fulfillment from it, and then now you're feeling really good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're getting that feeling from it. You can develop a passion for something.
but let's talk about the reverse of it, or the reason why somebody would want to switch to their passion. And the reason that somebody would want to switch to their passion is they're doing something that is ruining their life, or they're absolutely
Dude, let's say
peeling their eyes out.
let's say it how it is. More than likely, the person that's going to make a big switch to something they're passionate about is because they're fucking miserable.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they're miserable. They're peeling their eyes out. Like they are going day to day and they're going, why the fuck do I do this?
Yeah.
And that is, so you are at that point. So the first step is you need to accept that you need to leave. It's just like breaking up with a girlfriend. If you know it is really, really bad and you've validated that it's really bad and it's not just a phase, then you need to rip the Band-Aid off. It needs to just end.
I know
And
a
then-
few people in that situation right now.
Yeah. So the grass is always
You
greener.
know who I'm talking to if you're out there listening.
The grass is always greener doesn't apply in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that meaning when you're on the side of you're in a shitty relationship or you have a really shitty job, you still have what is comfortable and what you feel safe with.
You're teeing it up right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're teeing up for exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you feel comfortable. And change, okay, so I'm going to quote this off of something that, I'm going to paraphrase it, off of something that Will Smith was talking about, who actually gives like great motivational speeches, by the way.
His speeches are incredible. I
yeah.
send that to my Lifted Warrior clients
He's
all the time.
He's killing it with that kind of stuff right now.
Yeah, he's good at it.
He was telling a story about how he went skydiving for the first time.
Okay.
And that he was scared to, by the way, I've gone skydiving. It is fucking, like, I was actually very calm about it.
Tell
I'm
the
gonna-
story.
yeah.
It's worth the 5 minutes, whatever.
All
Tell
right,
the story.
so,
Because fuck that. That's how I felt after you told me that story.
all right, so
Hell no.
I'm going to tell my story, but it actually is the same concept because so I'll tell mine and relate it to what Will was saying. So I was in, I went to Croatia with my cousin, and honestly had zero plans to go skydiving. My cousin's been once, and we had a day to kill where we also wanted to see some of the islands. So he's like, yo, should we just go skydiving? And I'm like, it's something about when you travel the world, you just start to feel invincible. You start to like lose your inhibitions and you're down for whatever. And that's how I get when I travel. Okay, don't give me those fucking eyes. Like, I'm down for a lot of things.
Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever find Josh in China, he's down for whatever. He's down.
So we decided to go skydiving, and we literally just did a quick Google search. I found a couple different companies. I validated that they weren't like super sketch, and we were just like, let's book. So we booked
Looked
it.
him up on fucking Yelp.
Probably.
You don't even have Yelp over there, probably.
I don't even remember. So we get on a ferry. We wake up in the morning. I'm fine at night. Like, honestly, I'm the type of person that if I do get nervous, it's not until like game time. So I was fine sleeping. We got on a ferry. It was a 4-hour ferry. Didn't even think about it. Like, was just like still tired, drowsy. Then we got to Hvar, which was the island that we were jumping over. Got there and still fine. We're like checking out the sights really quickly, and then the skydiving crew picks us up in this like jalopy red car. I'm like, okay. jalopy red car. That's when I started-
I don't know what that means.
Jalopy means it's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Like it's barely driving. So we're in the car, we're driving. It's super bumpy, like the car's like gonna fucking fall apart. Me and my cousin are not saying a word. We're both looking out the window, and I didn't know this until after the jump, but we're both looking out the window, and we are both literally pissing and shitting our pants
I mean,
without
you,
actually.
you didn't know he was scared. Too.
I didn't know
You obviously
he
knew
was.
you were scared.
He was literally like he was super scared, and I had zero thoughts other than the negatives.
Yeah.
Like all I could think about was what if.
Dude, I would have tore the fucking door off that rickety old car and got the fuck out of there.
So I'm like, so then we pull up to where we're the jump site. The jump site is in this field. He pulls onto this like dirt gravelly road. I'm like, all right, so he's taking us some back way onto the runway.
Yeah.
We get to the quote unquote runway, and it's just this dirt path. I'm like, what are we, Jurassic Park? And I didn't really. So what I'm actually thinking at that time is, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
Am I really doing this? So we get up, and it's literally a tent, like a canopy tent. 3 guys and 1 girl. She's got like a little like foldable table. She's like, all right, guys, you can check in over here. We're the only people there. Like, there's nobody there. There's a little Cessna, like I don't even know what the number is, but the tiniest Cessna plane. We walk over. They're like, "You guys ready to jump into training?" We're like, we look at each other, still haven't said a word. We do the training. They like use like a doll to show us the formation, how to fall out of the plane. Fine. Then they're like, all right, let's simulate really quick how you're going to jump out of the plane.
At what
pilot
point was there a moment where you were like, I'm not doing this?
No
Really?
moments. I committed. Like
I respect.
I was scared, but I was like, fuck it, let's do this.
Dude, I don't know.
So most people jump out of a plane that they're sitting in the back of the plane, and then they like walk up to the door and jump out. This plane only seated 4 people, 3 of which had to sit on the ground of the plane. So the pilot was the only one that actually had a legitimate chair. So I was first jumping, then my cousin jumped second.
Wait, you didn't tandem jump? You jumped solo?
No. Yeah, we had there's 4 people. I had a tandem.
Oh, so 5 with the pilot.
I'm sorry, yeah, 5.
Okay. I was like, what?
Okay, so we simulated the jump. All right, so we get into the plane for real this time. We're suited up. And how it goes is my cousin and his tandem sit behind the pilot's seat facing back. Me and my tandem, I sit right next to the pilot with a wide open door on the right. Like just a cutout of the plane. Pilot's sitting in an actual chair. And so we take off. And at first, I am shitting my pants. I can see everything. And he does this, he's the whole time up as we're ascending, he's tilting the plane left in a circle.
They go climb. Yeah, that's how they
But
climb.
it's also, he's tilting it to the left because I literally, if he tilts to the right, I fall out. I'm not strapped in. There's nothing for me to hold on to. I'm literally sitting on a flat surface with an edge off to the right.
Oh my gosh.
So we're tilting left all the way up in a circle as we climb. I would say for the first 6,000 feet, I can't even describe the amount of fear that I had. It was just insane. And then all of a sudden, like my body calmed. Like I just like felt euphoric. So I literally, I knew it in my head. I was like, holy shit, my adrenaline's kicking in
That's weird.
so
though.
fast and so hard that I'm aware of it.
Isn't it for most people that kicks in after like the jump and your shoots out?
So because of my situation being that I was sitting,
You thought your ass was going out the door.
yeah, dude, I was scared just sitting there.
Yeah.
I thought like that was me. I think if I would have asked my cousin, which I actually haven't, his adrenaline probably would have kicked in somewhere else. Mine kicked in at like 6,000 feet because I was looking at the barometer, and I just got calm, super calm. And so I'm gonna sort of bring in Will Smith's story
That edible kicked in.
real hard. So Will Smith was
Jokes,
talking about.
jokes.
Will Smith was talking about the same thing, how he was scared shitless about everything up to that point. So back to my story. So to jump out of this plane, I have to sit on the very, very edge of the cutout and stick both my feet out onto this tiny little metal plate on the leg of the plane, I'm basically jumped at that point. Like I'm basically outside of the plane.
Just your guys.
Except the guy that's attached to me is on his knees on the plane, behind me. Relax. So
just like you like.
I'm sitting there and I have no control when I go. So I'm hanging out of the plane, but I'm still calm. Like my adrenaline is full capacity, and then all of a sudden it just my whole body loses sense of gravity. I'm doing a bunch of flips, and then a couple
Did you
seconds.
know when he was gonna?
No, I like
so it was just
nothing.
random. Wow.
So I'm just like a lot of wind is hitting me.
I've heard a lot of guys jump. Those tandem guys that are like the instructors. They were like, we're gonna count to 3. They always jump on 2.
He didn't even count. Like he didn't.
I heard
Keep
they
in
jump
mind-
on 2 so that way they keep you from like on 3 freaking out and grabbing the side or something. They just go.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people.
I've heard that.
But my guy also speaks broken Croatian, like broken Croatian, or I'm sorry, full Croatian, broken English.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to communicate, so that's another part of the sketch.
He could at least given you a fucking hand
Nah,
count
he
now.
just-
3.
He just pushed me. Like we
Wow.
just jumped. It was the best feel. Like it was the coolest, on top of the world, like just rush of adrenaline that you really can't ever get in any other feeling other than those high adrenaline moments.
Yeah.
So
I get
anyway,
that.
it's like-
I get that when I'm going over 150 in a car.
yeah,
I get
it's
that feeling.
honestly you'd probably get it even like a higher dose if
Yeah.
you did that. But that's gonna relate back to the Will Smith story and my story. So then I came down, I held the thing and we landed and whatever. So Will Smith's point of this entire story is that the things in life that are the scariest,
Let's see.
or actually, hold on, let me phrase it the exact way he said it.
Yeah.
The best things in life are after the scariest moments in life.
Yeah.
And that's totally true. You are going to have a humongous amount of fear in anything
When it comes, and I think that's definitely specifically relating to doing something new.
doing
like-
something new.
Like for me, like I don't want to get fucking sidetracked or anything like that, but like the scariest moments of my life have been when my dad and brother passed away. There was nothing good. So it's more so talking specifically, just to clear that up, about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
making yourself do something you've never done before,
Yeah, I mean,
making yourself grow.
I'm paraphrasing, so
Yeah.
I'm not exactly
Yeah, I just,
sure how to
because
say
some
it.
people, I'm that way. When I hear someone try to make a very inspirational or motivational analogy and it's really broad, the first thing I think of is, okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense because that, you know what I mean? That doesn't apply to me in this way. So I just wanted to say that's because I've seen that exact speech. I've watched that speech a dozen times.
Yeah.
I think the first time I found it, I watched it 3 times in
Yeah,
a row.
it's
It's
good.
that good.
It's good.
And he nails it right on the head. the way
Actually,
he
we
says it.
should throw a link on the YouTube. for
Yeah,
that
we can do
speech.
that.
Um,
I still have it because I sent it to Lifted Warriors clients, and I'll go back through my emails and find it, and we can put it, or I can just search it and put it on.
But the point of that story and the point of what Will Smith said is that in order to pursue your passion, you're going to experience extreme amount of discomfort and or fear,
Absolutely.
and you're not going to see the greener grass. You're going to see exactly what I was seeing when I was about to jump, which is, holy shit, what if? Because you don't know what the green grass even looks like. You've
Yeah.
never felt it. You haven't experienced it. And that's how a lot of people end up fulfilling themselves in many different areas in life.
Yeah.
They have to put themselves out there. They have to totally go against the grain, and they have to take risks.
It's almost, and I hear this one a lot too. And I agree with it, and that's why I'm saying it. It's more risky to just not do anything
Yeah.
than it is to actually step out and try to do something that's taking a risk.
Yeah.
Because yes, there's risk that you're going to fail, but if you have the right mindset, when you fail at the new career or whatever you're trying to do, that actually sometimes can be the best part because you learn the most. And as long as you're not going to be like, oh, I failed, I quit, I'm going to go back to my old job now. Like, if you learn what you did wrong and then try doing it again differently this time, and more than likely you're going to I've failed so many times. I mean, and I still
Oh, yeah.
fail all the time.
Yeah.
But now when I fail, because the biggest part of failing too is you get embarrassed because people know you failed. doesn't fucking bother me anymore. Like, do I care what people say? People will say that they don't are lying. I do, of course, care what people think, but I don't let it affect what I do and don't do.
Yeah,
you have to get over that.
Yeah.
Everyone cares. I don't care what you say, but not letting it affect what you do and don't do is the key.
Yeah.
So if what you're passionate about requires you to take a risk, and then if say those risks do happen and you actually fail and you learn from it, you're really taking the risk out of it.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Because if you're continuing learning from what they're calling the risk of it, and you're turning the risk part into actually something that's going to enhance your chances, as long as you don't quit for the next time you try, it can actually be a good thing.
Well, let me clarify.
And that's why you have to be passionate about it, because if you're not really passionate about it, you won't try it again.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck that, I failed, it didn't work, I'm over it, you weren't really passionate.
Kane is in the building.